Russ, what stands out about that game last year against the Rams?
Which one? The first one or second one?
Second one.
Well, I like the first one better. And we won the first one away. But the second one was a tough game. They played great. I mean, they're a great football team. They've been playing great, all year so far, and they're extremely talented. They're explosive on offense. They got a great defense. I think about guys like Aaron Donald. Now they've had the addition of Sue and everything else. I think last year we weren't able to capitalize on some of the plays, but that was last year. That's 2017. So I think it's a new year, and we're looking forward to the opportunity of playing a great football team. We know that we're going to have our A+ game, and we're looking forward to it.
You mentioned those defensive linemen they have. Your line, how good do you feel about the way your offensive line's been played the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, the line's been exciting. Just to watch, how physical they've been playing. I think obviously the addition of Dwayne Brown last year and really having him, be one of our main leaders on our football team all this year too as well. At the left side, you need a great left tackle, and he's one of those guys. I think Sweezy, has stepped in at left guard right now and has done a tremendous job. He's, a guy who's a champion, and been here before. He knows what it takes. He prepares the right way. I've known Sweezy since freshman year of college, and just his work ethic is still the same and just getting better and better every day. And he's been amazing to work with every day. I think Britt has been physical. He's been smart. He knows what to do. He's stepped in, obviously, to have stepped up in a big way. Obviously, to have a guy like Joey Hunt who's filled in, for Britt, in the Cowboys game, and a guy who's smart and intelligent. You think about Posick playing left guard. He can play right guard. He can play tackle. He can play anything. As one of our guys too as well. Then you think about, obviously DJ Fluker. He's been a big addition to us. He's a big man. And so he can. He's 350 pounds or whatever he is, and physical as can be. He loves the game. He's a champion. Knows how to do it the right way. Coming from Alabama and just being a big time football player. You think about Ifedi has really stepped up this year so far and just has really continued just to improve and just continue to learn from guys like Dwayne, one of the best tackles in the game. And so I think about a guy like George Fant, who's going to probably play this week, in a big way. And so those guys have really just continued to just get better and better and better. I think Coach Solari has done a tremendous job with them, honestly, and Coach Solari is a tremendous football coach. It's always great to sit in the meetings, and just listen to Coach Solari talk ball and the detail that he presents it with, and it's transferring and it's working, especially in our run game and everything else, and then I'm excited about what we're going to do, just moving forward for this year.
With the way that they, what to expect from Aaron Donald, but how are they using Sue both at nose guard and on the outside there?
Yeah, I think obviously Aaron Donald being one of the best defensive linemen, one of the best players in football, just just across the board. He's physical, he's fast, he's quick. He knows how to get to the quarterback. He's got great timing. He's a superstar. To be able to play against guys like that, it's always great. Just because those are great moments and memories and everything else. And he's just a tremendous football player. I think with Sue, the addition of Sue, he's he's been one of the best football players in the game for a long time, and he's just as physical as can be. He knows how to get to the quarterback. He has great timing as well. And so Sue will go outside sometimes even and play on the edge and rush the quarterback. He's made a few plays rushing from defensive end. Most people think of him as a big nose tackle or whatever, but he's quick as can be, and he can go outside and play in and make some plays too and cause some havoc. So you always got to have a great awareness where those guys are. I mean, they're true playmakers, as good as it gets. So got a lot of respect for them.
Have the record at home last year that you're kind of used to over the last few years. Just how important is getting back to kind of being the dominant team at home?
Well, anytime you step on the field, no matter where it is, the goal is to go 1-0. The goal is to win a game, whether if it's home or away. I think one of the big things that it's always critical is you want to have a great presence at home. You want to be able to win as many games as you can at home, hopefully all of them, and that sets the tone for some tough road games and everything else. But if you can win a lot of your home games, that gives you a great chance to, do what you want to do for the season. That's a critical part, and that's a critical part to any sports team and everything else. I think that the best part about when we play at home is the fans. They make it, extra special. There's, we have home field advantage. It's definitely real here, and so I think that we want to capture that, and I think you capture that by, playing the right way, playing great football, playing solid, and one play after another, and throughout the whole season.
You kind of keep being on the injury report a little bit with your hamstring. Has that been an issue for you at all?
No, I'm good. I'm on a run. I feel great. Just I think they have to. If I get any, I don't call it rehab. I call it prehab. If I get any prehab work, they got to put it on there. So I'm up here early in the mornings getting work and stuff. But no, I feel great.
You got your crucial catch stuff on. You appeared in one of the PSAs. Just how important is that cause for you?
Well, obviously with crucial catch, it's a big deal. You think about the platform that we have in the National Football League, the platform that we have as players, and the platform we have socially and everything else. It's a good thing to have. But I think also there's a great responsibility to acknowledge some tough times for some people. And you get to play football for a living and get to do all the great things that we get to do, and people cheer our names and everything else. But there's young kids who have cancer. There's people who who are maybe going through something tough. And I think and there's people that people have family members. People have a kid that they may have. They may have somebody else's kid that they know, or whatever it may be. It may be a friend. And so I think at the end of the day, I think being able to bring awareness to cancer and just continue to research and try to find as many ways as possible to help it. I know for me, it's been amazing with our Why Not You Foundation to be able to do a lot of things with pediatric cancer in particular. It's been amazing with T-cell therapy and everything else, and it's been a blessing just to be able to see kids. There's no better feeling than to see a child who goes in with cancer but also comes out with no more cancer, and because of T-cell therapy and just some of the things I've been able to see and witness. And so I think about people like Milton Wright and just others. There's so many others, but it's a tough thing that we all experience. We all may know somebody, or whatever it may be. Obviously, we have Paul Allen, who's going through something right now, and despite as many things as you may have in the world, or whatever you don't have, we all go through a lot. We all have our situations and our issues or whatever it may be. And I think just to be there for people, to continue to bring awareness and to continue to love people and everything else, and be a helping hand in whatever that may be. It may be with your resources, it may be with your time, it may just be with your voice and just giving a sense of care. I think that's what's really critical, and I think that with the platform that I have, the platform that a lot of us players have, we can bring great awareness to it, and it's been a blessing to be a part of.
Why do you go to Children's Hospital every Tuesday, and what role does your father have in that?
Well, Children's Hospital has meant a lot to me. I got here, in May. I think it was May 11th, 2012, and one of the things that I went to Children's Hospitals, in NC State and Wisconsin and everything else. But one of the things I wanted to do is, I knew that when I got to Seattle, wherever city I was going to go to, I wanted to make a difference in that city and find a way that meant something. My mom grew up as an ER nurse. When I was growing up, she was an ER nurse. She's always been in hospitals. My dad was a diabetic who passed away from diabetes, and they were always in the hospital for whatever reason. And it was always challenging. It was always challenging because you may not have people around. You may not have many family members around. You may just be you. And I remember many times it was just me and my dad in the room sometimes, or just my mom and my sister with my dad, or whatever it may be, and maybe it's just the whole family. But there's really, when you're in a hospital, you feel alone sometimes. And I think that for me, it's been something that, I've always wanted to be able to, try to give a glimpse of hope just for a split second, and just a smile on somebody's face, for a quick second. And Seattle Children's Hospital does a tremendous job, first of all. I think it's one of the best hospitals in the world, how they treat their patients and just the doctors that they have. People fly from all over the world. I've met kids from Australia. I've met kids from Montana. I've met kids from New York. I've met kids from all different, locations around the world just to go to Children's Hospital. Met a kid the other day from North Carolina. And so when you think about that, I think that I want to be able to make an impact, not just through playing quarterback and not just hopefully throwing a lot of touchdowns and hopefully winning a lot of games, but I think that, hopefully just if I can put a smile on some kid's face. And I think the other thing is for me is that, a lot of the world is, it can sometimes be about me or whatever, and everybody kind of wants to give you the attention or whatever. And I think that it's a humbling experience to be able to go into a room and knowing that, a kid may only have 12 to 18 hours left to live. A kid may have been hit by a car. A young girl that I met once, just some of the things that you experience, and so I think that it's bigger than just the game. It's a lot bigger than that. And and I always say this, with Why Not You Foundation, for example, and like I said earlier, the T-cell therapy and pediatric cancer. the reality is that you know, you never know if it's going to be your kid. You know, you never know if it's going to be somebody else's kid that you know. And so I think that when you take that perspective, you're willing to you know, do as much as you can. You know, and so me having 2 kids now and everything else, it means the world to me just to you know, just to see other people, you know, the nurses and the doctors who make such a great difference there at Seattle Children's, and not just Seattle Children's, but all the hospitals that are around this location, you know, and a lot of other places that I've been able to, you know, fortunately be able to go to.
Russ, when you look at how explosive the Rams offense is, how much pressure does that put on you guys, your offense, to kind of match that kind of level of productivity?
Well, their offense is tremendous. I mean, I think about the Rams. I think about what they've been able to do on offense. I don't think you try to. You just play the game. You know, every game's different. You just play the game one play at a time and you let it happen. You know, I think the tendency for most people is to panic and rush and, you know, and try to just go outside. You know, go outside of what they, you know, they feel like they have to do. I think you got to play poise. You think you got to be rock solid. I think every down matters. I think every possession matters, and I think that's how you got to approach it. Because you know they're a high scoring offense. They've been able to do a lot of different things. I got a lot of respect for them, and I think for us is just play great football. You know, and at the end of the day, see what happens.
What impresses you about their offense and what they're able to do?
Well, I think they play extremely fast. I think they're, you know, very intelligent. I think the receivers make a lot of great plays. Todd Gurley's a, you know, rock star back there in the backfield. Can catch it, can run it, can pass protect. You know, can do everything. He can jump over people. You know, he can make all the plays. You know, he's like a video game watching him play football. And then I think Jared Goff has done a tremendous job of putting the ball right where guys can catch it and making plays and everything else. And he's got tremendous receivers to do it and tight ends and everything else. And so I think Coach Sean McVay has done a tremendous job of mixing it up and just playing fast and everything else. They're explosive offense, and so it's been cool to watch them, you know, do the things that they've been able to do, and you know, hopefully we can slow that down a little bit.
Is a game like this against a divisional rival easier to get pumped up for? You have circled in your calendar, just knowing kind of what's at stake, that you can kind of close the gap between you guys and the Rams?
I don't know. For me, and this may be the boring answer, but for me, you know, every game's critical. Every game's, you know, I love playing for. Every game I look forward to. There's no emotions higher or lower just because it's a certain game, and so I think that if you have that mentality, I think that it gives you the best chance to be calm, to be clear on what you're trying to do, and go execute it.
Anything else? Thanks, Ross.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks. Yep. Thank you.